A right angle is one angle that measures 90 degrees. Oftentimes, you'll see this little square or box to represent a 90-degree angle. Anytime you see this box, you automatically know this angle measures 90 degrees. A straight angle is an angle that measures 180 degrees. This kind of angle is made by a straight line. Notice how a straight line creates half of a circle. A full circle is 360 degrees, so half of that is 180. And also notice that a right angle is exactly half of a straight angle, because 90 degrees is half of 180. Now, if you have two angles that add up to equal 90 degrees, those are called complementary angles. This box means that this is a right angle. These two angles make up the right angle. So the purple angle and the blue angle are complementary because they add to get 90. Here's another example of complementary angles. They don't have to be connected in order to be complementary. They just need to be two angles that add to equal 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are two angles that add to equal 180 degrees. We have this smaller blue angle and this larger purple angle. The blue angle and the purple angle are supplementary. They add to get 180 degrees. Another example of supplementary could be here. As long as the sum of the two angles is 180 degrees, they can be connected or they could be separate. But if the sum of two angles is 180 degrees, then they are supplementary angles. For example 1, solve for r, then find the measures of these angles shown. The first question that I actually want you to answer is this one. Name a pair of complementary angles. Complementary. So I'm looking for something to say 90 degrees, or more likely, I'm looking for a little box to show me 90 degrees. I see a little box. This means that this is a 90-degree angle. So angle ABC is a right angle. It measures 90 degrees. That means that the two angles that make up our 90-degree angle, our right angle, would be complementary. Two angles that add to equal 90 degrees. Now I have a relationship for which I can solve for r. I have part plus part equals whole. These two angles again are complementary, so they add to equal 90 degrees. Begin by combining like terms. We have 3r plus a 5r. We have a positive 5 and a negative 27. 3r plus 5r is 8r. 5 minus 27 would be negative 22 equals 90. Add 22 on both sides. For the inverse operation, 8r is equal to 112. Go ahead and divide both sides by 8. 8 divided by 8 is just 1, so now I have 1r is equal to 112 divided by 8 is 14. So now it's time to plug in our value for r to find the angle measures. The measure of angle ABD is our blue angle, and that's 3r plus 5. So 3 times 14 plus 5. 47 degrees. The measure of angle DBC. DBC is the purple angle, so 5r minus 27. r is equal to 14, so plug it in. 5 times 14 minus 27. Using a calculator, you get 43 degrees. Angle CBE. Let's look at the measure of angle ABE. That right there is a straight line. So the measure of angle ABE will be 180 degrees. Now, we already know that the measure of angle ABC is 90 degrees because of this little box. This is 90 degrees. The whole thing is 180 degrees. So what is the measure of angle CBE? Part plus part equals whole. 90 plus x equals 180. To solve for x, we'll subtract 90 on both sides. And some of you may have been able to do this in your head. X is equal to 90. Remember, 90 is half of 180. So if one of the parts of your straight angle is 90 degrees, the other part is automatically also 90 degrees because 90 plus 90 is equal to 180. They'll only put the little box on one of the 90-degree angles and they'll leave the other one blank because you know that if two angles make up a straight angle and if one of them is 90, the other one is automatically 90 because supplementary angles add to 180. So that will be 90 degrees for the measure of angle CBE. To check that I got the correct answer for R, I am going to take this original equation that I set up and plug in 14 for R. And you do get 90 equals 90, so R equals 14 is correct. Probably should have checked that before I plugged in this R value into all of these to make sure that R was correct, but as long as you do it at some point, make sure you show your check. Find the measures of each angle below. And here are the names of the specific angles you need to find the measure for. But first of all, they want us to name a pair of complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to be 90 degrees. First of all, I see a right angle, but it is one angle measuring 90 degrees, not two angles that add up to be 90 degrees. So EFB cannot be a complementary angle because it's only one. Two angles adding to 90 degrees is complementary. What if we have a straight angle? Half of it is 90. What is the measure of the other half? Half of 180 is 90. So each of these pieces equal 90, okay? This angle is 90 degrees and this angle is 90 degrees, creating a straight angle, which results in 180 degrees. Remember, even though there's only a box on this side, I know that the other side is also a right angle. If added up, it makes a straight angle. Angle EFA is a right angle. Two angles that make up EFA would be EFC and CFA. Name a pair of supplementary angles. Supplementary means two angles that add to get you 180 degrees. Any two angles that make up a straight angle will be supplementary because a straight angle totals 180 degrees. So I have the option of this straight angle is made up of two separate angles. So these two are supplementary, angle BFD and angle AFD. Another option would be these two angles are also making up a straight angle or a straight line, meaning these two angles will add to be 180 because they are supplementary. So either one is acceptable. I'm going to use this one, angle CFA and angle AFD are a pair of supplementary. What is the measure of angle EFB? Okay, we talked about this. This little box means 90 degrees. It's a right angle. What about the measure of angle AFC? Oh, they already gave us that, 47 degrees. The measure of CFE, EFC, or CFE, and CFA are complementary, which means we know the whole as 90 degrees. So we can solve for angle CFE, or it's also labeled as Y degrees, by saying part plus part equals whole. To solve for Y, we'll subtract 47 on both sides, and Y is equal to 43 degrees. Our next angle is DFA, so the one labeled X degrees. If you remember, angle CFA was supplementary to angle AFD. Supplementary angles have a whole of 180 degrees. So part plus part equals whole. To solve for X, we will subtract 47 on both sides. So X is equal to 133. The last angle measure we need to find is the measure of BFD. We talked about this before. BFD and DFA make up a straight angle. So if I take those parts and add them together, I will get the whole of 180 degrees. I'll call this angle Z, and we actually know the value of angle X. It's 133 degrees. Part plus part equals whole. To solve for Z, we'll subtract 133 on both sides, and that's equal to 47 degrees. To recap, a right angle is one angle measuring 90 degrees. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to equal 90 degrees. A straight angle is an angle made by a straight line and measures 180 degrees. Supplementary angles are two angles that add up and equal 180 degrees.